What can I do
No,
for you?
because okay, so basically, I'll give you a little summary of my basically situation right now.
Okay.
Okay, so I reconnected with this guy like on the 18th of May,
Mm-hmm.
but we stopped talking really in April, but that was for like 2 days. But we really stopped talking on Valentine's Day. But we've been fixing stuff like slowly, because it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And we were fine and everything. But then yesterday, I don't know what happened. And I was home doing like chores, everything, cleaning the house. And then he was like, oh, that he has me, that I got him messed up, this and that. And then obviously I feel like I'm a little like anxious, So like I just like said like a couple words. I didn't spam him. I just let him have his space for the day. But then I texted him later one more time. And yeah, he just like kind of quote unquote went off on me. And I don't know what I did.
Okay. What's your question here?
Um, what should I do? Because he hasn't responded to me.
Okay. How long have you been dating?
Um, we haven't been dating, we're just talking.
You're just talking. How long have you been talking?
Like mm, May, probably like a month.
Okay. So y'all
If you
have
really think about it now,
so y'all haven't
yeah.
met up in person or anything like that.
No, yeah, we have.
Okay. How many times?
Wow. A lot of times, honestly.
Okay. And then what happened? You said you were over his house cleaning up?
No. I was over at my house. He was doing his thing yesterday, and I was at my house.
Uh-huh.
I was cleaning, getting the house ready and everything. And then he had texted me saying, nah, I'm good. I'm just gonna go now. And he's just, yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of confused, love. You said that you were cleaning up and he texted you saying, nah, I'm good. I'm just going to go now. Was he responding to something?
Yeah, I was like, I asked him what happened because in the morning time of yesterday, he kind of felt a little off.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then he had said something that I did something while I was at home. So I'm just kind of confused. And I'm just like, the question is basically, I'm asking, like, I don't know what I should do. Like, if I should, like,
Okay, first
talk.
I have to first understand what the actual conflict was. So you said that he said that you were doing something at your house. What is that something that he said you were doing?
Uh, I really don't know what I was doing.
What did he say that you were doing?
He never replied. He never gave me he never, like, he kept me clueless. He said I crossed one of his boundaries.
Okay. And he didn't tell you what those boundaries were.
Yeah, like from the beginning, we never went over boundaries or
He
anything.
said you crossed one of his boundaries where y'all were together.
Yeah,
Okay, when y'all were together last, was he upset with you? Did he respond in a way that showcased that he was upset by any of your behavior?
no,
So he was normal the entire time.
yeah,
Okay, but you texted him saying that something was off, right?
yeah.
Okay, so what was off?
Just like he had said something, he had said, like, have a good day today in the morning. And that's what I used to say when, like, I, like, gave him space.
So you, he texted you something, and what he texted you, you said something. You perceived that something was off.
Yeah, because we usually like are cool through the day. Like we like respond to each other, we hang out. But then he just said that, so I was just like, oh, he probably wants space, which I was fine of. But yeah,
Okay, how old are you two?
I'm 20 and he's
Okay,
about to be 22,
it's
23.
making a lot more sense now. Okay,
Yeah.
so when you describe how y'all the last time y'all got together, what did y'all do?
Um, we hung out. We went to go get food and then watched a movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are y'all actively sleeping together?
Uh, yeah,
Okay. Did y'all sleep together last time y'all hung out?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
And that was the first time to reconnecting since like March.
What do you mean reconnecting?
Like we didn't really talk. We didn't really talk.
Okay. I'm gonna tell
And
you
then
the
I
first.
reached. I
I'm gonna tell you the first problem I see here. You're bad at communication because I'm having to pull teeth to get answers out of you. If you're this bad at communicating, he's probably just as bad at communicating, which means y'all both are cooked. There's no way you're this bad at communicating and he's good at it. So you're both got to be bad at it. And if you're both bad at it, I can tell that's going to be a big problem. He's already saying that you cross his boundaries and he's not even telling you what boundaries you crossed. Right? So he's also bad at communication. So this is going to be very hard to work out because just just the use of words isn't effective.
I mean, yeah, I feel like my communication skills are not the best, but
Mm-hmm.
like I don't want to say certain words that will trigger him, you
Right.
know?
Have you said words that have triggered him in the past?
Yeah, when I was like spamming his phone and everything, because I really do think I don't want to like diagnose him, but like said it himself that he's like very avoidant and everything.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to like, the first time I kind of messed up, well, no, I did mess up. I kept spamming him, and that got like a lot of pressure on him, you know?
Okay.
So
So
now, like,
you were just testing him a lot.
yeah, and
So
I was
you
spamming his phone.
right. So
But now,
you didn't say anything that triggered him. You just through the act of testing him a lot.
yeah,
Okay. So you haven't been doing that lately.
no, I've
Okay.
been giving him a lot of space.
Okay. Do you want to give him a lot of space?
Um, I mean, not really,
Okay.
but
So that's hard for you then, giving him a lot of
it's
space.
it's a little hard for me.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, then that means you're not compatible then, love.
you're not, we're not compatible.
Right. If you have to give him a lot of space for him to stay in the connection and you don't want to do that, you rather be with somebody, like be able to talk to them relatively frequently, then that means that y'all have different needs and it's not going to work out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make
Because
sense.
it's like if you get what you want, which is like y'all seeing each other more, it stresses him out. But if he gets what he wants, it stresses you out because now you got to pretend like you don't want to be around him. So that's not sustainable. Eventually, you'll crack out of like not being able to talk to him or see him enough.
I know, but we do see each other. We do like, you know, consistently, but sometimes I guess he just tends to pull away sometimes.
Right. That's going to happen with someone who has avoidant tendencies. So here's how this relationship goes. The same discomfort and anxiety that made you call into this show is how you're going to feel daily, and it's never going away. Can you live with that?
Um, Probably, yeah.
You can live with that.
Well, I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
Whoa, I'm being very clear. If there's one of us who's being unclear, it ain't me. I promise you that. So what I'm saying is you're in an uncomfortable situation where it's like you can't read this person and you don't know what's going on with them and you're having to give them space that you don't want to give them just to not scare them off. I'm sure that causes you to be very anxious, right?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. Okay, let's stay there. Let's stay there. Let's not move on from there. So, that same feeling that you're feeling right now, if you stay with this person, that's going to be how you feel every day.
Oh, yeah, and I do not want to feel like that every day.
Right, right. Okay.
Okay.
So, if you don't want to feel like that every day, then it's best for you to end this connection because that's being with this person is going to require you to feel this way all the time. Okay?
But you don't think, like, if we fix both of it, it won't work, or no?
Fits what? You don't even know what the problem is because he's not communicating with you.
Like, how he's gonna fix his problems, I'm gonna fix my
Neither
problems.
one of you even know what your problems are. You can't solve a problem that you can't see, that you can't define and articulate.
Okay.
Right, right. So I wish you the best, love. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a good one. Gotta give her grace, chat. She's 20 years old. Give her grace. But that literacy crisis is. It's a real thing. That's a bigger crisis than global warming. Some of the calls I've taken, fuck global warming. We got to get the babies reading again. We got to get the babies reading. We got to do it. Hmm? I'm gonna start putting captions on my videos for that purpose. I'm gonna turn the sound off. It's gonna be captions, like a sing along song in this bitch. We're gonna have a little bouncer thing over the words. We gotta get that right. We gotta get that right. Gotta get that right. Because a lot of these younger ones, like when they call in, it's really just a communication issue when you boil it down. Hmm? Force reading every day, right? But yes, she's young. Give her grace with the situation she's in. She's not going anywhere though. I don't know if y'all got that vibe from the call. Not going anywhere. Not going anywhere. Staying put. So you really met her where she was at. You tried to do it. I tried to. I tried to. But yeah, she's not going anywhere. She didn't get the answer she was looking for. She's like, well, guess I'll join another live until somebody tells me to stay in this situation. But that's a cook. But did you catch her about to lie about them being intimate? She was about to say kind of. They've been kind of intimate was where she was going with it. I don't think Jess meant to come up. So let's take her down. Living with Carol. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Caroline from the UK.
Hello, Caroline from the UK. What can I do for you?
I am 31 and I'm looking to find a man.
Okay. Well, best of luck with your search. I could tell from the Freddy Krueger hat that Carol had on her profile picture that this was about to be an unhinged question. I'm just waiting for it, to be honest with you. I'm just waiting for it. Just waiting. Carol, if you look above, look north from my head, you'll see a header that says no matchmaking. I'm 20 with a 5 and a 3-year-old. I'm trying to get back into the dating world. Hold on. I hope Shorty's still ain't 2 kids? That's crazy. All right. Let's see what TJ has to say. I think TJ's been here before. Hello.
I just have a quick question. I talked to you a couple weeks ago, and I've been newly dating, and I just had a concern I wanted to ask if you could explain it in a way to just help me understand it more.
Sure. What's going on?
To not trauma bond in beginning to know somebody as far as like in the dating process, not the hooking up process, just completely like just going out and enjoying each other's time and getting to know each other on a surface level.
Right. Okay.
How do you not trauma bond but still get to know the person for who they are without doing that?
So when you say trauma bond, you're saying that you're sharing traumas. You're sharing like
Just any, I hate to say trauma bond. I don't really mean that. I just mean like anything major in life that may be like a negative or something that you overcame.
okay. Okay. Well, trauma bonds is basically you having a relationship with someone where there's high highs and low lows, right? That's not you sharing trauma with somebody. That's what the name kind of sounds like, but that's not what it is. But second thing is when you are, so it is a good question because when you start to open up your inner world for someone in the earlier stages, the more vulnerable you get, the more you kind of like, it's almost like a soul tie, to be honest with you. It gets harder to end the connection. You have to grieve the connection more the more that you kind of open yourself up to a person. So what I tend to advise is for people to pace that, right? So think of yourself as like an onion, right? There's layers to the onion. You don't reveal the core of the onion. You reveal things by layers. As people earn more access to you, you give them more access to you. And they earn more access by being consistent with their behavior and their intention, right? So I'll give you an example. Let's say you had a really bad breakup and there's a lot to say about that breakup. And you go on like the first or second date with a person and they ask you, why did your last relationship end? You don't go into detail. You may say, oh, we were incompatible. Give them a surface level answer. And you may even tell them that, like, long story short, we're incompatible. I may tell you more about that someday, right? Maybe give them a little open loop there. I may tell you more about that someday. That's what I do. I can give you a long list.
Do you feel like you know if you're compatible with somebody if you're not sharing those things?
Well,
Like honestly,
that's not compatibility.
because I have a tendency to over-explain and maybe explain too much, what you
Right.
just explained, and I'm trying to change that because I know it can have a big difference on the dating process. When
Right,
you're
but you're
not
not
physical.
going to determine compatibility for somebody sharing their past situation with you. That's more about values and a shared life vision for the future. That's more
Okay.
compatibility focused, not like, oh, are our breakups similar? No, they don't need to know all that. So you have to. That's a tendency that anxious people have. They tend to be overshares, and especially neurodivergent people. They also tend to over-explain, overshare. So you just want to pace it. Say less than necessary when it comes to your inner world and personal life. You don't dodge questions, but you give what is needed based on the phase you are in the connection.
Okay. All right.
No problem, man. Best luck
Thank
to
you.
you.
I really.
No problem, Chief. You take care. Yeah, that's a big one. I used to do that all the time. Being an open book, right? Just saying whatever. Oh, you asked me a question. Okay, here's an answer to the question you just asked. I don't care. Learn whatever you want to learn about me. And the first time when I first got single, and the connection ended, I remember feeling like exhausted. And we didn't even date long enough for me to feel exhausted. But I was exhausted because, oh, I just shared so much about myself with this person. That's why I'm exhausted because I forced like some sort of bond with them by sharing so much. So that doesn't mean that you have like super high walls up. It just means you pace it. So the more we get to know each other, like the more I see you, the more I reveal about myself. And that should be mutual, right? That people earn access to you over time. What's going on, Cheek?
Yo, what's going on, man?
Chilling, man.
Okay, I see you're giving dating advice, man, and I just recently got back into dating, so I have a
Word?
question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm trying to I'm trying to increase my emotional intelligence. Do you have like a book that you could recommend?
Emotional intelligence. Okay, so what problem are we trying to solve with increasing your emotional intelligence?
Well, I want to be a better listener. I want to be able to I want to what's the word? Listen to someone's problems and really lock in with them. Like really, what's that word? Empathize.
Okay,
Be able to empathize with them.
okay. So you're trying to essentially create a bit more intimacy in the
Yeah.
connection, a little bit more emotional intimacy. Okay. Um, I will tell you this, man. It's not going to be so much an intellectual exercise. The more you can connect with yourself, the better you can connect with other people,
Mm-hmm.
right? So because we're more alike than we are dissimilar. So like the more you ever see like people talk about, oh, there's no original experience. Like when people start making videos like, oh, I thought this was like an original experience that I had, but apparently we all had the same experience, right?
Yeah.
We're more alike than we are unalike, right? So it's like the more you go deep into yourself, the more you will better be able to empathize and connect with somebody else. That's my opinion, at least. So that's where things like therapy or journaling or just sitting with yourself, spending some time in solitude, introspecting will be very useful. You
Mm-hmm.
know, um, there is a good book that I would recommend, especially it's a bit woo woo, so you gotta take it with a grain of salt. But Letting Go by David Hawkins.
Letting Go by David Hawkins.
Right, right.
Okay.
It's again, prepare yourself. It's a bit woo woo, but it definitely goes into like the emotional experience.
Wait. When you say woo, what exactly do you mean?
It leans more to like the spiritual type of stuff.
Okay,
right?
nothing's wrong with that.
Gotcha.
Nothing wrong with that.
Gotcha. So that's a good one. That's one of my favorite ones because through that book, it's like you're learning more about yourself and your own emotional experience, which will allow you to better resonate with other people and their emotional experience. Right. So like some people will try to do it as an intellectual exercise. So they'll try to intellectualize emotions. Avoidantly attached people do this a lot. They'll do it, it'll be called intellectual bypassing. So instead of sitting with their emotions and feeling their emotions, which is actually how you process an emotion, right? You process an emotion by feeling it, not thinking about it. An avoidantly attached person will start thinking about it. So like, for example, let's say they get sad. They'll start being like, well, why am I sad? I feel sad, and why am I sad? And they'll start thinking. That cuts off the feeling.
Right on down.
That's what you do?
Right on the.
Right. So it's like better than reading. So reading a book is just going to further reinforce that loop, right? You'll start thinking about the emotions more. It's the wrong target. That's the wrong target. You want to feel them more. So when you have an emotional experience, you want to sit with it and feel it. Turn the brain off. If you feel grief, just feel the grief. You don't have to be like, thinking about the grief, where it comes from, or maybe, are people watching me grieve? Like, just feel it. And then through feeling it, it'll feel like a wave. Like when you process an emotion, it'll build up like a wave, and then it will descend like a wave. And when you feel that descent, that's when you know you've done one cycle of processing.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's some good advice right there, man.
Try to do it, man. Try to get y'all right, baby. You feel me?
Well, thank you, man. I just had to call and get that question off. Appreciate it.
No problem, Chief. Love the content too, brother.
Oh, no problem, sir. Have a good one, brother.
My man. All right. You feel so much better after? Right. Also, people, if you want your 1 hour coaching calls, this icon right here above, hit that button below. Shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call, all right? I had a woman today in my DMs being like, oh, I wanted to book a call, but I just found out I just realized I need a bank account. I was like, yeah, you need a bank account. She was like, yeah, when I see the PayPal option, I know that means I need a bank account. How did you plan on paying for this, love? Because you can't pay with ass. I just saw your profile pic. Not interested. So how did you plan on paying for this service? You do not have a bank account. How are you going to exchange funds? Wasting my time. She's blocked now. Got to block her immediately. Wasting my time. Immediately have to block. What do you mean? I didn't know I need a bank account. You have bigger fish to fry. You got bigger fish to fry if you do not have a bank account. What are we talking about, man? That's what I mean. The general public is very interesting, bro. It's very extreme. I met some amazing people since I've been putting out content. But I've also met people I never want to meet again. Never again would like to interact with you. It's a mixed bag. Like that. Perfect example, right? On brand. I have a sneaky hypothesis that people who can't not listen to music, I tend to not like them. You ever seen someone who gotta have music on 24/7? My hypothesis is they're escaping themselves. So they can't sit in silence because that's when they have to face themselves. So they need constant noise to drown out. They need constant noise to drown out facing themselves. I don't know if that's true, but some people I've met where it's like, oh, they gotta have noise all the time. I'm like, you're running from yourself. You're running from yourself. I love music too, but it ain't that great. It's not, I promise you. It's not that amazing. You're running for yourself. That's why you constantly need it. Hopefully nobody's triggered in the chat by that, but it's something I was thinking about the other day. All right. Oh, your mind was blown by that? All right. Well, again, if you want your 1 hour coaching call where y'all can get this type of insight, 1 hour specifically to you, 1 hour. This icon right here, hit that button below, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. Be advised, you must have a bank account. You must have a bank account. If you don't have a bank account, don't message me anything. Okay? Just so you know. Just so we're on the same page. You feel me? Just so we are on the same page. All right. My least favorite, somebody listening to music out loud while walking. We didn't ask for this, right? No, they should be triggered. We got to be self-aware. 100%. A new disclaimer. We got, like, I'm collecting disclaimers at this point. I work from home. I just like to listen in to hear other people besides kids, right? Right. You gotta add that to the pitch. She wanted pro bono. I'm assuming she wanted pro bono. We don't do that around this part. Coming on live is only pro bono people get. The other thing people tend to do is, like, they don't want to call in because they're, like, a little nervous. So they'll try to DM me privately. It's like, well, no, that doesn't work either. You want my private time, you have to book a coaching call. I'm not going to be DMing me your problems. I would have no life if I was just responding to people DMing me their problems all day. It doesn't work that way. So when I see stuff like that, it automatically reveals to me what your problem is. You don't have any empathy. Right? You're too in your own experience. So you're like DMing me your problems, knowing I do this live twice a day. And you know I have coaching calls. And you're DMing me your problem. You know I have hundreds of thousands of followers across platforms. And you're DMing me your problem. Immediately I know what your problem is. You don't have any empathy. You're entitled, like Monterey said. You can't see things from another person's perspective. So I'm already knowing what your issue is. That's definitely calling relational problems for you. 100%. Too self-centered and inconsiderate. Right. Hello. You didn't mean to come up. All right. No worries. I got you. See, people get terrified when they come up by accident. Man, that should be funny. She said, ooh. Am I doomed for liking tall men? Why would you be doomed? There's no problem with that. There's no problem with that. It makes things a bit competitive, though. So, it does make things more difficult. All right, let's see who this is. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm calling to ask up about my partner and I were together for 8 years and we just recently broke up. But he and I were for a while, right? And he went through some job difficulties and then decided to quit his private therapy, and then over like the course of a couple months stopped sleeping regularly and then went into like a psychosis. Like started having really crazy paranoid delusions and just really poor mental health, and I tried to get him help for like 2 years, but he just slowly became like increasingly agoraphobic and just terrified of everything around him. And I finally had to leave, obviously. But there was like a domestic dispute. That was like the kicker, you know. He also tried to break into his former place of employment and did a bunch of other things, you know, because of his delusions. But I'm trying to like move on, obviously, but I figure I have like some sort of like white knight syndrome, because I keep thinking that I should have done more. Like I could have done more to like save him, you know? Yeah, I'm worried like going into the future, like how do I prevent myself from getting into situations like that, I suppose.
Okay. So your question is how to avoid being kind of sucked into this type of experience in the future.
Right.
Okay. How long were y'all together?
8 years.
8 years? You said this was your husband?
We never got married, no.
Okay,
We lived together, but
Okay. So 8 years. How did y'all meet?
we met through mutual friends. Like we knew each other for probably 6 or 8 years before that. We kind of just circulated in the same friend groups and everything else.
Okay. Okay. And when did these type of issues start?
I guess about 6 years in, we moved for a job that he wanted, pretty far away from like our home base where everyone we knew. And about 6 years in, he came to me and told me he didn't want to do that job anymore. Like, and it's a very specialized, like, position. And he just said he didn't want to do it anymore. And
Right.
I told him that was fine. Like, do whatever you want. But obviously we need to continue working and having jobs and supporting ourselves. So he jumped around to a few different jobs and then had some, I guess, interpersonal issues with the places that he worked at. And I feel like that was kind of what kicked off the psychosis, but obviously there were a lot of different things. But like in retrospect, like looking back on it, when we first met, he didn't have a job at the time. And then I supported him for like 8 months. And he had similar interpersonal issues at that first job. So obviously all of this is like retrospect, and I can never know what happened to him actually at those jobs, right? But he, yeah, obviously didn't get along with a lot of people. And I don't know, there's just like so many things. It's hard to say. But, starting out, we were both very like immediately involved with each other, like we were both locked in right away, I guess. And
What does that mean?
like we were hanging out constantly and, not really, I guess not doing like a lot of stuff with other people, like just hanging out with ourselves and like a little, whatever you call it, like a love bomb cocoon type situation. And I guess that's.
And you said what was the trigger for his psychosis?
He started a new job, and then it was like a startup place.
Okay.
And he felt like he told me that they were having him do tasks that weren't related to his job and things that he didn't feel like were his purview. And then he found out some things about the guy who was the owner of the startup that he thought was kind of shady.
Okay.
And then,
Any history of mental illness in his family?
oh yeah, his mother is, I mean, I don't know what his mother is, but she's definitely got something going on. And his dad actually, yeah, his dad wasn't really involved in his life for a long time because he had some anger issues and went to jail because of that.
Okay.
Basically, just a lot of family issues and probably some CPTSD there.
So, what made you ultimately leave?
I was trying to get him to get help and to get, just to get in with someone, to seeing a psychiatrist and getting on some sort of medication because his mental health would fluctuate back and forth between, he would seem like he was fine and then he would have a couple of nights where he wouldn't sleep very well. And then he would say that, somebody was coming to get him or that, there are so many different delusions, and just would never actually follow up to get help. And because we weren't married, I couldn't really do anything. Like I would try to set up appointments for him and take him to the appointments, but I couldn't like force him to go.
Right.
So just a lot to deal with, and I finally decided I was going to leave, and we kind of had like a little bit of a shouting match because he got his car stuck in a snowbank and I had to come get him, and he was blaming me for that. And then he pushed me down on the ground, and so that was, I wasn't like hurt, but I just knew it wasn't a good place to be anymore.
Okay. All right. And your question is how to avoid a situation like that in the future?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I could tell you that this is a outlier type of situation, so I don't think this is one that you will duplicate unless you actually try to, right?
Right.
So this might have just like traumatized you to a bit to where it's like you think that you're just going to naturally find someone like this again. That's not necessarily going to happen. But also, the family history of mental illness increases the odds that somebody's going to have it, right? But
Right.
yeah, I don't think you're in danger of when you date someone else, they're going to have this type of problem. It's not like you're selecting for people who have issues like this. You're with them for 6 years before any issues even surface. And you got out relatively quickly when issues started to surface. So it's not even that like you stay in situations like this. This is just you. Life happened. And things went south. But that doesn't mean that, there's any strong likelihood that you're going to have a similar experience like this in the future.
Yeah. I guess it's probably true. I guess I just feel like I don't have any, like someone said in the chat, I just don't have any discernment because like I feel like, looking back, there were like a lot of little signs. Like obviously his family mental health was not great and a lot of other things, but I don't know. I feel like I always have on like rose-colored glasses.
Why do you feel like that?
I just feel like I always see like a ton of potential in other people, and I don't look at the reality of the situation.
Okay.
So
what are you saying that in this situation you did that?
no, just in general, like I think there were some things that I overlooked about him that
What do you feel like you overlooked?
you know, his mental health wasn't great. Like starting out, obviously having sort of spotty employment, and he would go kind of in up and downs, like depressive episodes and some manic episodes. And I guess I always kind of downplayed them to myself.
How soon did you notice those things?
Probably not until we were together for like 3 or 4 years.
Right. Yeah. So by that time, you're invested. Yeah, like it's different to notice something after spending years with someone from noticing red flags like on the first few dates or the first 3 months of getting to know them and then overlooking those. You dealt with somebody, got into a relationship with somebody, were with them for multiple years before these issues started to show, and you did what loving people typically do, which is try to help. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
This isn't a discernment issue. Not at all. Like, even you seeing somebody like having depressive episodes and stuff like that, that doesn't mean, were you thinking that you were supposed to jump from, oh, he's having a depressive episode, that he's going to now suffer from delusions? I wouldn't see that coming. Nobody would. So you got to forgive yourself from this situation, for multiple reasons. Like, forgive yourself for going through the experience, right? But then also forgive yourself for feeling like you may have failed this person because you didn't. You did the best you could. I used to work for a company that works exclusively with families of people who suffer from mental health issues. It is an impossible situation because a lot of people like that don't want to receive any kind of help. They don't think anything is wrong. So trying to get someone who has like bipolar disorder and stuff like that to take their medication is quite the task because they don't want to do it. A lot of those families suffer silently because they think that they also are failing the individual, and they're not. They're doing the best they can, but they can't control the situation because that person has their own free will.
Yeah.
Right. So this isn't a discernment issue, love. This is just you were in an impossible situation. You did the best you could, and I don't think anybody could have played it better because you gave 2 years of effort, and then you left in a reasonable amount of time. That's actually commendable. Other people would have still been with this person and would have still been trying. So you gave it a solid effort. I don't think there's anything else you could have done aside from staying in this situation. So you gotta give yourself grace, okay? You seem to be willing to give other people grace. You gotta kind of give yourself that same gift. All right?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
All right, dear. Best luck to you, all right?
Thank you. Thank you
problem.
so much.
You take care. All right, people, again, if you want your 1 hour coaching call, this icon right here, hit that button below, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. All right? Okay, who we got next?
It's me.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. What can I do for you?
I never actually know what to say when I see you, but this time, okay, so I'm dating this guy. He is 44. There's an age gap of like 14 years, and it's just...
Wait, what are the ages?
Okay, I'm 30, he's 44.
Okay, that's not bad.
Okay, and he's interesting, he's sweet. We've been on a date, we're going on another soon. The first date was cool. He just invited me out to a basketball game. I'm not super sporty, but I was open to it. He's cool. Had a great time. There are a few things that I noticed. But for a 44-year-old, I was like, damn, like, am I am I missing something? Like,
Right.
he didn't open any doors. He actually saw a coworker of his and was like very slow to introduce me into the conversation. So I was just standing there awkwardly. And then he kept asking for me to go home with him, like after the date. I know, right? Like, what's up? So I'm just trying to understand. Is it just something, like, is he just 44 and just a big old horn dog? Is this like something I should be expecting? And how to like lean away from that without, I don't know. I feel like I'm typically very quick to be like, I don't like that. Like, that's not what I'm here for. And it runs people away really quick. But
Right.
I feel like there's a better way to do this without scaring them off. You know what I mean?
Okay. How long have y'all been dating?
This was our first date.
It's the first date.
I see the eyebrows.
The first date is crazy. Okay, so what do you mean by he kept trying to get you to go home with him? What did that look like?
The first time, you know how the stadiums have like the no bag policy or the clear bag policy? So I brought in a purse. They sent me away. They were like, you gotta, put that up or whatever. So he went and got his car. He brought his car around and let me put my purse in his car for the time being. And after the game, when he offered to drive me back to my vehicle, and while I was in the car with him, he was like, you don't have to go home. You could just come home with me. We could leave your car here and just, I'm like, what? Leave my car here? Are you insane? And then I was like, no, I politely declined. I was like, we could, I could go somewhere else, but I'm not going to your house apartment. And he continued asking, like when we went to the next location, he asked again. He was like, we don't have to, stop here. We could just go to my place. And, I was like, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? It's 12
Right.
at night. There's not much room for talking anymore. And he was like, no, we could just converse. It's cool. So that was 2, right? Strike 2.
Right.
As we're leaving the last place, he asked again. It's like he thought that the chances would get better the more he asked. They didn't. I went home. But I don't even know if it's worth it to keep moving in the direction with someone that won't take my first no. You know what I mean?
Okay. So how did you meet him?
I was just telling my dad about this. I was leaving the gym. Like, apparently he goes to that gym. I don't know how frequently, because he's alright. He's not like super in shape. But he like, as I was getting in my car and I closed the door, I look up and there's a car blocking me, and it was him. And
What do you mean there was a car blocking you?
he blocked me in. I couldn't leave the gym because he blocked me in.
What are we doing? What are we doing right now?
He blocked me in. He was trying to talk to me. Like, I had my window up and everything, and he was like, let your window down, because he was talking and I wouldn't at first. I was like, why are you? I was honking
Right.
at him first.
Right.
Oh Lord, not the comments going off. Oh God. So
Right.
yeah, he definitely blocked me in, and he like got out the car. He was like, let me get your name and number and blah, blah, blah. So I did, because, like, you're intimidating me now. Like, this is weird. But he did follow up. He was like, I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable. I just, saw you leaving. I wanted to talk to you. And there was no other way for me to do that, because he was about to dip. So when I gave him my number, we talked, and he was pretty chill on the phone. We had a lot of like similarities with the first call. And then I think after, because he went on a trip after we got off that phone call, and he came back, and that was when the date request happened. So yeah, we aren't that far deep into this.
Right.
Now I gotta change gyms.
Like when the way that I kind of discern situations like this is I like to people look at red flags. I tie red flags to character traits. You can't always do that, but like because character is destiny, right? So these both these red flags that he has displayed, what do you think that says about his character? What type of person do you think he is based on these red flags?
I first, of course, there are a lot of blaring red flags. So of course, I'm definitely feeling like this is like I hate to say predatorial because I just don't know if we're there, but it is definitely giving like predator prey, like like blocking me in from the very beginning, and then
Right.
like waiting till I got in the car to be like, you want to go to my place and stuff like that. It's
Right.
just talking myself through the.
Right. So what it tells me is that he doesn't respect boundaries. That's the type of person that he is. He doesn't respect boundaries. So you can expect more of that behavior from him if you were to continue to see him. This is the type of person, if you got into a relationship with and you lived with them, if he didn't want you going somewhere, he would hide your keys.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. Yeah. It's crazy.
Right.
That's insane, actually.
Yeah. That's what I mean. You gotta lean into this discernment, right? So it's like that's how I think about it. It's like, okay, what kind of character does this person have? Right? Based on the behavior that they are exhibiting. Once you can clock the character, that's when you can be like, okay, well, this is the type of experience I can probably expect from this person. Right? So, immediate red flag was blocking you in. Because it also displays lack of empathy. Like, he's too focused on what he wanted to achieve in that situation, which was to get your number. He's not thinking about what is she thinking, considering that I just blocked her in and she is a vulnerable woman in her car. Right? He doesn't respect boundaries because of his lack of empathy. When dealing with a person like this, you don't have wants. The only wants that exist is their want, their desire. Right? So, yes. Got to increase that discernment. This is not someone to give your number to at all. Unless, like, you give the number to appease them because obviously you're blocked in. So you don't want to piss that person off. So you give them the number and then you block them and then you report them to the gym for that type of egregious behavior.
Oh, wow. That's a thought.
That's what I would do. That's not someone I would be comfortable being around, to be honest with you.
Okay. I'm glad to have a little validation there for sure. I definitely talked about it like with my dad of all people, and he was like, back in the old days, that's how it was. You just kind of you use an opportunity and then you just like go from there. But
How old's your father?
he's 60.
60? Yeah. So back then, it's like it's a different situation.
Yeah.
You can't apply that logic to today's time.
Okay. I'm glad we had that chat.
No problem, love. Best luck to you.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.
But he said, I'm going to get that ass one way or another. Asking her to go back with you multiple times is insane. As if the next request is going to be the one that does it. My God. That's why I tell you fellas, like, the bar is so low out here. The bar is so low. All you got to do is really be normal. There's other things you have to do. There's other things you have to do. But, like, it's a big Um, it's damn near a feather in your hat nowadays to just be normal and not being weird. Just be normal. If you just normal, you'll fall into situations just by happenstance. You'll luck into situations just because you're normal. If you combine normal with just talking to women, you combine those two things. Being normal and talking with women, you'll get some W's. Now, if you combine that also with like, improving your social skills a bit, getting in the gym, dressing well, each one of those skills are like amplifiers. If you're normal and talk to women and you dress well, the dressing will amplify you so much because most men don't dress well. The competition has never been lower, honestly. Never been lower. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see if Miriam wants to call in. Hello? Hello? Nope. All right. Who else do we have? Who looks real? Let's start with that. Hello?
Yo.
What's going on, man?
I don't know how you doing, my man? I don't know if you remember me. But, probably don't. It's been like 4 months. But I had a couple questions. So I think last time I talked to you, I was dating women that I felt like was like trying to be all up under me. But now I'm in a relationship. I've been in a relationship for like 2-3 months.
Nice.
I really like this young lady. So I had 2 questions.
Okay.
So she is a doctor, great. We're both from Atlanta, but we live in Florida. I had a couple questions. How do I word it? This isn't pertaining to us or me, because this isn't my problem.
Okay.
But like, it pertains to my friends, because why do, like, if you make good money as a man, like I make pretty decent money, why do men feel intimidated when women make more money than them?
So this isn't something that you're experiencing?
No, I have no problem with it because I'm confident in myself. I like my life already.
Okay. Is this like something you're curious about?
Yeah, because it transitions into my next question, pretty much.
Okay. I mean, there's not just one reason. It's a multitude of different reasons, right? So money kind of symbolically represents who probably is the leader of the household, right? It could probably be men who also want some sort of control, and if they don't have financial control, that gives them less influence over the woman in question from their perspective.
Gotcha.
Right. So there's a number of different reasons.
All right. So yeah, my question is, like I said, I've been dating a girl. We really like each other. Everything's going great. She's amazing. When we talked about having conversations about like moving in together and stuff like that, it's pretty early. We're not gonna do it right now. It'll probably be like another year or 2. So the dynamic, she's very reasonable. Is like, I want to pay all the bills in the house, if that makes sense, even though she makes more money than me.
Okay.
Right. I think that makes her a little uncomfortable.
Okay.
Because I'm not moving in with her like no time soon or nothing. But like, I think that makes her uncomfortable because she's never like had to like depend on the man in that element. If that makes sense. And my situation is I just like paying the bills in the house because I'm already doing it. Like if my bills are already $5,000 a month, you come in, all I ask is that you just pay your bills and the groceries for our dynamic. She's comfortable with it, but I think she's like only saying that to, how do I say, be comfortable right now. I'm not sure she'd be okay with that. Because she's older as well. I'm 32, she's 36.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense.
Okay.
So, like, is there a way I can, like, say it to, like, make her more comfortable, if that makes more sense?
So you want to pay all the bills in the house?
Just the house, like, the house bills. Like, I really like her. Probably, I never felt like this about a woman. I don't mind proposing to her next year and, like, moving in together after that.
How long have y'all been together?
We've been official about 3 months. We've been dating, like, about 5, 6.
Okay. And you're saying you will move in with her right now?
No, not right now. No, I'm talking just next year. Like,
Okay.
I don't mind proposing to her next year. Like, I'm at this point in my life. I'm like, I like you. You like me. We have the same, like, I think we're equally yoked. The questions we ask each other are very, like, intentional questions.
Gotcha. And you will move into her place, or y'all would get a place
we'll
together?
get a place together. We'll probably
Okay.
move back to Atlanta because both of our families are in Atlanta.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay.
Because, like, to raise children and stuff, if you want children.
Historically, have you paid all the bills?
In my house, yeah.
I'm talking about if you're in a relationship capacity.
Yeah, I lived with somebody for about 2 years. I paid all the bills.
Okay.
I paid all the bills. I
Okay.
didn't pay her bills. I just paid the house and like I didn't pay. I paid her bills towards the end of our relationship once we broke up. But like right before we broke up, but like I usually just pay the bills in the house, rent, utilities, stuff like that.
Why do you want to pay all the bills?
Yeah, it's good. That's why I'm going to ask my therapist next week. I think it's like a childhood trauma. Cause like my dad, I don't want to get too deep, but like my dad worked all his life. Well, not all his life. Worked till I was like 11. His sister died with my aunt, and he just stopped working. And then I saw how that affected my mom. And then like, I just saw how like she just lost respect for him. If
Right.
that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Him not paying the bills. So I just rather pay all the bills, not to just only keep that respect, but to make her life easier, if that makes sense. Because if you already paying like $3,000 in rent, you ain't got to pay her no more. You know what I'm saying? Just use that money to stack and invest.
Right.
But I just think she's not as comfortable because she's older. She's been paying bills by herself for
Right.
a long time.
Right. And have y'all talked about it? Like, have you talked about why she's uncomfortable with it?
Yeah, she said mainly because her last relationship, he was abusive financially. And then like when he lost his job, he was like very, very mean, if that makes sense.
How was he
So
abusive?
she just-
How was he abusive financially? Do you know?
I didn't really want to add details. I tried to like get to like into your past too deep, know what you dealt with, because I tried to move forward. But she just said one time he lost his job. She asked him for money, he never get it back. Because she's a doctor, what you need it for, stuff like that. I don't really care about her money. If that makes I like my life. You know what I'm saying? I love her life as well. She's doing amazing.
Right.
But if I was to propose to her next year, which I do not mind once again, and we were to move in together and get married and move in together, I don't mind paying the house bills. And I told her, you just pay your student loans off, your car note, car insurance. And she said it was okay, but I just feel like she's real uncomfortable.
Right. How many relationships have you been in?
Seriously ones?
Mhm.
I don't really count anything under 25. Yeah, like me personally. So I'll say about one. And I was in there for 3 years, from 26 to about 29.
Why did that relationship end?
She was. Well, I'm not gonna just put it on her. I learned from. I was abusive mentally, meaning I gave her the silent treatment when I knew she didn't like it, and she put her hands on me. If that makes sense.
Why'd
So,
you give?
like, I'm not gonna just say.
Why'd
so.
you give her the silent treatment?
She did something that really upset me. Like she embarrassed me at a event that I hosted.
Okay.
Like, was loud about it, and I just stopped talking for like a day or so. And then when I stopped talking, she got drunk, came home. Well, I had to go pick her up because she was drunk, and hit me in the car because I wasn't talking to her.
Okay.
And like, so I just like ended it after that.
Okay. So you ended it after that, you said.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of things. Also, like she was lying to her family about me and stuff like that. Once I found that out, but all right, it's cool. Like I ain't gotta keep doing that.
Gotcha. In past like connections, were you someone who gave the silent treatment?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm working on that through therapy, like I said, because I'm real big on if you have nothing good to say, just don't say it at all, or just say, hey, man, I'm not ready. Let me process first, and then I'll get back to you because I don't want to say anything. I'm really big on words, so like I don't want to say the wrong thing, and then like or like saying in a tone that's not received well.
Right.
So I don't want to.
How do you typically handle conflict?
We said I don't like raising my voice. So that ain't really my thing. So like I don't like being condescending. I don't like diminishing nobody's feelings. So I handle conflict as I would sit down and talk.
Do you
I hear her perspective
do
first.
you feel like you when you have conflict or issue, you feel like you want to handle it right then?
It depends. I don't know. I can't say. It depends what it is. It may be something that needs to be handled right then, or it may be something like that situation with my ex was just so egregious. I was like, I need some time.
Okay.
I told her that, but then like she was like, well, how much time? I said, I don't know. That's manipulative in my thing. That's why I had to learn. That's not cool. No, I don't do that no more.
Okay, she would ask you how much time, and then you would say, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do you handle vulnerability typically? Does it make you uncomfortable?
It hasn't with her, with who I'm dating now. I would say it used to make me uncomfortable with certain people, but her has been amazing.
What made you
But
uncomfortable?
I think that's just because we're both in a great space in both of our lives.
What has made you uncomfortable in the past with vulnerability?
Trusting somebody with my emotions, mental health, and like things I struggle with in life, and hoping they won't use that against me because it's been used against me before.
Okay. So before it was used against you, you didn't have a problem with it?
Yeah,
Okay.
like me and her broke up 3 years ago, so like that was 20 years. It's 2026. That was 2022, so it was 4 years ago.
Okay. All right. So what do you think makes this woman different?
I think we're both intentional. Our first date was extremely intentional. Like we asked a lot of intentional questions, like how you handle conflict, how many kids you want, how you want to parent, how do you feel about this relationship? Like we just immediately intentional. We equally yoked. We laugh the same. We make the same jokes. Like I used to get annoyed when women would want to be around me a lot. I hate it when she leaves. I really like her. I like being around. She has to go to work, of course. She's at work right now. But like I love being around her. Like, I haven't felt like that in a while.
How much time do y'all spend together?
She's probably at my house 4 or 5 times a week. 4 or 5 times, yeah, a week.
Okay. Nice. All right.
It's just like I don't want to make her uncomfortable. Like if I propose to her in marriage, and like I'm trying to like be a better person to make her like comfortable with me paying the home bills and her not being uncomfortable.
Okay. I got you. So the main issue here is you're using financial provisioning as a way to ensure she won't leave you.
No, I never really. This is the real to answer your question. I think you're trying to ask me. I never really tripped on a woman leaving me. My problem was when I say this to not to. I think it's a mixture of everything. My family, I grew up, and when my last relationship did, like I paid all the bills, but then like I left so she could get her stuff out. She took everything out the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was like, oh hell no. You know what I'm saying? Like no, like I learned to pay everything in the house. So if you leave, just get your things and leave. Don't take the house with you. You know what I mean? That's a control mechanism. I don't care if you leave. Take everything with you. I'm not gonna get mad at you. But
You're saying a lot.
like,
You're saying a lot, but I still stand by what I just said. Because you said that your father would pay the bills. When he lost his job, the mother lost respect for him.
yeah.
Why is losing respect a bad thing?
That's a good question.
Because that's the
I
first
like
step.
what she treated my dad.
That's the first step to leaving in bad treatment. So you're trying to avoid that.
Yeah.
So you're trying to purchase your way out of it. Okay?
Yeah.
You may have leaving may not be the fear. It could just be disrespect. But regardless, money is now being leveraged so that you don't have to experience that. Okay. So that's what's going on your end. It's not just a genuine expression of your desire. It is you trying to hedge your bet. If I do this, I won't have to experience that. Right? She's doing the opposite. Money in her situation has been used for control. She doesn't want to be vulnerable again. She doesn't want agency to be removed from herself financially. You trying to pay all the bills from her puts her in a situation where she feels like some of her agency has been taken away. Right? So, because what you're attempting to do isn't a clean desire, I would try to let it go.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my therapist gonna say the same thing this week. I struggle with it. I'm not gonna act like I don't. You know, she's been amazing. It's just like I know her helping would help us, if that makes sense. And you are completely right. I am trying to leverage that. So like, I'm glad I'm able to say it. It's just like I know her helping. It's just like I mentally feel like I can't process it, and I just feel like I'm already paying the bills in my home. My bills are already a certain amount. They're probably going to stay the same or only increase maybe a couple $100. My bill's high as hell. So like I just don't see the point of like splitting it, but that would probably make her feel more comfortable.
Yeah, it'll make her feel more comfortable, and it will put you in a position to do something that is uncomfortable as well, which is what's going to help you grow.
True.
Right? This is ultimately you trying to control outcomes, and you can't. You can't control outcomes.
Yeah, I agree.
You can influence them, but you can't control them. So this is you relinquishing a bit of your control and surrendering to the situation. Right?
Yeah, I think I told her that like 2 weeks ago. I was like, I have to like just let go, and whatever happens, happens. Because like I always try to like prepare or control, as you would say, for outcomes. But there's no way you can do that with dealing with another person. And but the only thing I do try to control is where I lay my head, if that makes sense. Like I try to control that for sure. And I never really felt bad about that. It's just like if I was to propose her next year and getting married, I would have to relinquish that control. And I struggle with that. Like where I lay my head, if that makes sense.
Well, that's your growth, brother. All right, that's you getting out of the comfort zone, right? So this would be you getting out of your comfort zone effectively. So I think there's a lot of room for compromise here, but I feel like if you really want you have to think about what serves the relationship, right? So don't think about, okay, what do I want? Think about, okay, well, what serves the relationship? Think from that frame, you'll make better decisions.
What advice would you give me to like let that control of like paying all the bills in the house go? Like, because of course she would help. Like we both together probably make around $500,000. So it's like money was never an object with us, you know. And it was just like my control, like I said, is just to feel like I know where I'm laying my head at no matter what. I never want somebody to tell me to get out or anything like that. I had to let go of that control of like you never know how this gonna go.
Right.
Like I struggle with the financial part of it. Like,
that's her same fear. Like you paying all the bills, she's thinking the same thing. Like I don't want no one to just be able to tell me to get out because I'm paying all the bills.
Yeah, same way. Yeah. Same.
Right. So both of you invest. You face a fear by facing it.
Yeah.
It's the only way. You can't think yourself out of it. You just have to behave yourself out of it.
That's real. So just continue, because everything's going great. I don't want to act like everything is something's wrong. Like it's been absolutely an amazing ride with her. Like these last 3, 4 months, it's been absolutely amazing. It's just like I see that as a potential issue if I don't fix it. If that makes sense. And it's like I said, I'm having my therapist next week. She's gonna tell me probably the same thing as far as in like a different way, but the same thing. If that makes sense.
Right.
And I know where it comes from. It's just like I haven't still let it go. If that makes sense. Yeah.
You let things go by deciding to, bro.
You said again?
You let things go by just deciding to.
Yeah, that's real. She. I think with a good woman, like you decide to with a good woman, if that makes sense. And like she's forcing me to, if that makes sense. Like forcing me to be a better person. So.
I got you.
Well, that was my only question.
All right, bro. You take care of yourself.
You do the same.
All right, people, again, if you want your 1 hour coaching call, this icon right here, hit the button that looks like it below. Shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. Right? Miles, what y'all talking about in the chat? What are y'all yapping about in the chat? Interesting. We'll talk about it when I get off. When I get off here. We'll talk about it when I get off. Okay, that slowed down a little bit. That's fine. That's cool. All right. I said that was a good call. This was pretty sophisticated. I'll have to reach out when I'm relationship ready. Appreciate you, love. Yeah, that's people, they'll come on this live for the first time. They think like, oh, another dating and relationship coach. And then like, they're like, oh, this is actually good advice. I didn't see this coming. Yeah. Yeah, we do things different around here. We do things differently around here. Do I want another call? I'm kind of like called out. All right, yeah, no more calls. If you have a question, y'all can drop it in the chat. Y'all can drop it in the chat. That's enough calls for today. I got to save some energy for paying clients. He didn't know his true motivation for wanting to pay bills. Right. What times you go live? Daily at 12 p.m. Eastern time and 9 p.m. Eastern time. Every day but Sundays. Sometimes I skip the nightly live, but I tend to not skip the noon lives. Hold on. 1 second. Let me respond to this inquiry real quick. One second. It's so hard to type on the iPad. There we go. All right, what are y'all talking about? Advice for dating when men always think you're too good to be true. I would definitely need more details there. I wish you were more visible during the Kevin Samuels era. It'd be like MLK versus Malcolm X. I was in a relationship during the Kevin Samuels era, so I definitely wouldn't be doing this. But sometimes you need like that, like, because people kind of like stair-step development, right? So people kind of need a Kevin Samuels or a Red Pill or a Sprinkle Lady as like a temporary step before they get to like the advice that I give. They need to go through that phase, see that it doesn't work, and then desire more. I miss like a whole hour of your live because I don't get notifications. I don't know why, love, but 12 p.m. Eastern time and 9 p.m. Eastern time, daily, I'm live, except for Sundays. He was funny. I can only watch clips. Yeah, he wasn't wrong a lot. It's just the core problem with Kevin Samuels was he focused too much on data. That might be a weakness of mine. I don't focus on it at all. I'm more like intuitive. But people who are more analytical, they tend to overextend on data, over-index on data. And he did that a lot. But data can be massaged. Data can be used to paint different narratives. So you gotta be careful with it. But there wasn't a lot of like qualitative advice that he gave, right? It wasn't very practical. The message wasn't packaged in a way to actually get a result. His message was packaged in a way to get more clips, to go viral. It wasn't with the intent. I can say it wasn't with the intent of being helpful, but it didn't have the impact of being helpful. Not many people change their behavior based on his advice. They more so just wanted to get like the shock factor. Kevin wasn't necessarily wrong. His delivery was just rough. Yeah, the delivery was intentional. He was a very sharp person, so the delivery. When I deal with very sharp people, my assumption is everything they do is intentional. So his delivery, from my perspective, was intentional so that he can get as many views as possible. And if his goal was increasing his income, very effective. I would make more money if I was black and white. Those red pill guys are out earning me for sure. Because black and white advice, when you get people emotional and angry, right? You can transmute that emotion into income. But if you're willing to sacrifice a bit of income and put out high vibe material, you actually can impact people's consciousness and facilitate an actual impact in society instead of just your bank account. I don't think he liked women. I almost made a skit about Kevin Samuels like really low-key liking fat women. He would like log off his stream and then go to his bedroom. Like, we're ready for you, Kevin. And he was like, right. And he just jumps in and like just wrote on the fat women. He's like, more fat women for me. His whole thing was like trying to convince people not to date fat women. Totally against it. They also tend to side with either the man or the woman. You stay neutral. I love it. Yeah, I try to stay neutral, man. I try not also to like demonize people. So like I try to look at relationships as a system. So I'm just identifying where the system is flawed. So it's more so fixated on behavior, not like demonizing the person. Unless the situation really calls for me to demonize the person. Sometimes that is the situation. I think a little of both is needed to truly understand. Right. Right. Nuance is clickbait worthy, but that's where wisdom. Nuance isn't clickbait worthy, right? It is not. People tend to not like nuance. Most people are what they call cognitive misers. They don't want to spend a lot of their mental energy figuring things out. So if you can just give them a situation where you can quickly get them to a conclusion and put someone or a situation in a box, they prefer that. He used to come with the soundboard saluting people. All right. About too good to be true. Attractive, fit, educated, high income, on dates, men try to find a wrong. I don't know, love. I've coached a lot of men. One thing they've never told me is that the woman they're dating is too good to be true. They might be saying that to flatter you. What outcome is being created by that situation? Madison, this is why I learned so much from you in less than a month. Appreciate you, love. I keep watching you because I like your delivery. My delivery gets kind of like aggressive sometimes too. It depends on the situation. Definitely depends on the situation and how I'm feeling. If I ate breakfast that day. Every time someone says something to me, I'm like, yeah, that's their issue. They tell me I'm lying on dates. Lying about what? Like your accomplishments? I was told that before. Too good to be true. Well, CJ, I would say you're over indexing on safety. I've never been told I'm too good to be true. I've had a lot of dating experience. No one's ever said you're too good to be true. I've gotten fuckboy allegations quite a lot, but not too good to be true allegations. So, especially if you're a man, I would say that is a sign that you're over indexing on safety. So essentially, they're saying like you're such a good guy. Hey, no, you do get aggressive. I do get aggressive now. I try to be exactly on these live how I am in real life. In real life, I'm like chill, but I also get mad if you push me there. I don't stay mad though. That's how I defend it. Like I'll get mad. I don't ever stay mad, but you can get me there now. I am human. I definitely get irritated. Dudes be using the same game. For the most part, yeah. Women do too, though. People always think they're like too smart, and it's like if you have enough experiences, you just see patterns. It's like, yeah, other people do this exact same thing. They do exactly what you're doing. You're not reinventing the wheel here. I've been told that I was too good, but I realized that I was dating now. Men of caliber haven't. Gotcha. You were dating down. Gotcha. I get roster allegations. Well, I think is that women who know that you run a speed dating event? That's probably where that comes from. It's like even what I do for a living, like me doing this, especially working with women, it's like it gives spark, but then decreases safety. Me doing these lives increase safety to women I date. It also decreases it simultaneously. It's funny. It depends on what mood they're in. It depends on what they just observed with it, right? So like a woman can see me talk to a woman and then like be gentle and guide her through an emotional experience. That will increase safety if I'm dealing with a woman, right? But then also it's like I don't like that you're that good at this with other people who aren't me. So it could be difficult to navigate. Sternness is appropriate. I think so too. 100%. Max thought I was a habitual fuckboy before she got to know me. Why did she think you were a fuckboy, CJ? Probably your sense of humor is probably what did it. Fuckboy allegations are actually like good. Because if they're calling you a fuckboy, if they're like thinking that is a possibility, it can ruin shit too. But I think it's ultimately a net positive because that means there's a lot of desire present. That means they desire you and they know other people do as well, right? So it is a indication that there's a spark present. You just got to make sure you give that safety as well. Because pure fuckboy allegations with no safety is that's a bad thing. Coach, you definitely give I was a fuckboy in the past, respectfully. Was I a fuckboy? How are we defining fuckboy? Let's get the term. Let's get a proper definition. How would y'all define fuckboy? And I can confirm whether or not I fit the description. Or past me did, at least. I don't think I was ever bad, to be honest. Personally, by my own standard, I'd assume women at first got safety, but after realizing the access you have, it gives spark. I assume women at first got safety, but after realizing the access you. Yeah, 100%. I found my connections go smoother when they don't know. Okay. Okay. Let me see. The smile told everything. Really? Did it? Bodies on top of bodies. Proper definition. A womanizer. I need definitions. Okay, what is a womanizer? Aware and careless with your toxicity. Finally, we have a definition. That was not me. I certainly, no one can ever say I've ever been toxic. Everyone's a little toxic to a certain degree, right? But like generally having a label of toxicity, no, I don't think that fits me. I think that I'm hoping that long video I posted today gets some virality. I thought a lot of good points were made, but it's long as shit. It's like 5 minutes long. So we'll see. A man I would run circles around. That's how you describe a fuckboy? Is that you can run circles around him? Well, I would also say that doesn't describe me either, love. You don't give that. You don't give toxic. Okay, good. Yeah. So yeah, no fuckboy. No fuckboy. That doesn't fit. I'm glad y'all defined it because people in the chat were doubting me. So I'm glad we proved them wrong. The chat has been divided. I don't get a fuckboy vibes from your past. Maybe a season where you were open to having fun, but that's it. That's accurate. That's accurate. Yes. Season where I was more so about having fun. Really season where I wanted to be distracted. But never any kind of like lying or misleading. I feel like a fuckboy would do things like make you think he wants to be in a relationship with you just to get access. And then he never really wants that. Very manipulative would be my like perspective. Wasn't that either. I'll give you an example. There was like one woman who I dated, first woman I dated after being single. And she like tried to hold back sex in order to be exclusive. And I was like, no. Not gonna strong arm me into being exclusive with you. Mm-mm. I think a fuckboy would be like, yeah, let's be exclusive. Just to continue sleeping with her, right? That's what I think. That's what a toxic version of me would do, right? Toxic version would be like, sure, yeah, let's be exclusive. Knowing I had no intentions of doing so. But I was like, no, I mean, we don't have to do this. You don't want to. Turns out she did want to. She was bluffing. Why is this not working? It was all a big bluff. That's exactly what they do. Yeah, I agree. Football will play the game. Right. Right. So yeah, I don't think that's ever really fit. But I would think most women I've dated would have nothing but positive things to say. There's probably two out there who probably would have negative things to say. Maz, the one I sent y'all last was the one that I ghosted by accident. I'm not a ghoster normally. I got like a text message saved in my Google Docs that I send. So I'm typically not a ghoster. But in that situation, I just forgot. And then like a week passed of no communication. I said, oh no, I forgot to text back. I said, well, that situation's cooked. That situation is cooked, including the one that popped up, the live, and announced it. That one was crazy. That one was crazy. I don't know what she was on. We went on one date. We went on one date years ago. Shorty shared it with the whole. My beloved, that's not weird to you? That's not a little weird. I had to block one. Because she would like ask questions in the live like that pertain to us. Oh, well, I don't like that, so no more access for you. And what else has happened? We had that one pop into the live. There was another woman that I was talking to on Instagram, and then she sent me a screenshot of this live, and she said, I didn't know you were TikTok famous. That's the last message I received from her. Last one. She just stopped responding. And then she followed me from like a Finsta. Like, why are you following me from another account after not responding on the other account? I try to tell guys not to try to make sense of some of the things women do, because some of it is just nonsense. Not all women. How you know? Not Finsta. Finsta's the wrong word. It's just another account that she had. It wasn't even a Finsta. It was just another account. She had multiple accounts. Not for any reason either. Just two Instagram where she posts pictures on her Instagram. And it's like, what do we have multiple accounts for? That she actively uses. And she'll like the post on one account from the other. And it's like, all right, this is a little weird. A little weird. That's also one thing that I would say. I haven't had to deal with a lot of weird energy. I think I have like a good intuition on people. Or God is protecting me. One or the other. Because I haven't had any really like negative experiences. Aside from like Croissant Lady. Y'all know about Croissant Lady. Aside from Croissant Lady and the catfish situation, I've had nothing but like positive dating experiences. Until they end. And then they end in a way that's like weird. If they end like because I really like the person, it's because they normally ran from the connection. Usually. Hilarious. I have multiple. It's not like weird if you have multiple. I think like, but if you have multiple, it's like, I think like, shouldn't there be a purpose behind having multiple? Or you just have multiple just to have multiple? Says she's shady? Why do you think she's shady? She likes you a lot, but it's also a little weird. I don't think she liked me a lot. I think she was attracted, but she may have had some discomfort with the content that I make. I know the content I make can be very polarizing. Some women just do not want someone who has that degree of access to women. understandable. Completely understandable. Not even mad at it, but it is what it is. Like, it would take a special woman to be like, okay, I am okay with you. I'm okay with you, like having clients who are women and then like talking to them on the phone. A lot of women aren't gonna like that. Like maybe if they saw if I like didn't have a public persona and I just was like a therapist or some shit, they might not have a problem with it. But them seeing me like joke with y'all on live and stuff like they not gonna like that. Cause they gonna know how other women perceive it. And they're gonna be like, I don't like the attention that you get. Again, completely understandable. And you can see straight through them. Exactly. That's another big one. People like to feel seen. They don't like to be exposed. They like to feel seen, but they like to feel seen for what they want to be seen for. They don't like to feel exposed. They don't like to feel like you can see things they don't want you to see. People don't like that. They don't want to feel like they're naked in front of you. So I try to let people know, like, I don't analyze them like that. I turn that part of my brain off. Obviously, there's some things that I notice, but it's not the same thing as like, it's not the same thing as like what I do on these lives because I don't, like, I have to try. Like, I'm trying here. But in real life, I'm just going with the flow and observing what needs to be observed. Not like psychoanalyzing you. Whoops. But it can make people uncomfortable. It certainly can. But some women are nuts for no reason, right? People use different accounts to do shady things. That's what I believe. Possibly. But they're like single though. So what would be shady in that situation? Think they were super attracted to your energy? Possibly. Possibly. It is definitely a possibility. Like as a man, like I try to tell clients, like you kind of want for my guys listening. I have no proof of this, but it feels intuitively true. My coach said this, and then also I saw a guy post about this from a biblical perspective yesterday. And he was like, men in the Bible like found their wives when they were like on their purpose or like doing the thing that God put them on the planet to do. So he was like, instead of going out trying to find like a wife or your woman, right? Instead, be on your purpose, do the thing that you were placed on this earth to do. When you do that, you get in alignment. And when you're in alignment with God's purpose, you will find people on that path who are also in alignment. It's kind of like when they say, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. When the student is ready, the master will appear. It's like that, right? We'll see how true that is in my personal life. But I'm in alignment now, right? But this is also a very difficult, like different type of job that I have. Like imagine when people ask me what I do for a living, people who have no context to what I do. And they ask me like in real life, what do you do? And I tell them that I'm a dating and relationship coach. I'm like, huh? Like, oh, like Hitch? Yeah, like Hitch. Not really like Hitch, but it's the closest thing you have to it. So, yeah. Could you date a woman with that type of kind of attention? I don't think so. Mainly because I think there's only one person in the relationship who can kind of be like that. I think you need one like showman in your face person, another person who's like more background. Sure, there's exceptions. It's kind of like how you sometimes, a lot of times you have like one person in a relationship who's an introvert, and the other person is an extrovert. Like, I can believe two introverts working together more than I can believe two extroverts working together. Because it's like, how do we have conversation when both of us wants to talk? I think you'd be a great partner. Appreciate you, love. Do you ever feel like seeing straight through people can inhibit you from connecting with them? It definitely can. That's why I try not to do it. I really like turn that part of my brain off. The experience of me, like, in real life is just a lot of joking. Like when I do like the Marquette After Dark segments, when I come on live and I start joking, that's how I am most of the time in a dating contest. It's not like these deep discussions, unless different women tend to like pull out different sides of me. So if I'm dating a woman who's like has a lot of depth and they're like more intellectual, then a lot of the conversation will be around those topics. But most of the time, it's like we're just joking. I'm just joking. We're laughing, having a good time. It's not like me asking you about your childhood or anything like that. We're just vibing. This is how I know I would not date a man like Margaret, just reading the fuck out of me. Right. Right. I get it. I'll probably be uncomfortable with that too. That's true because your wife will be your helper in your purpose. You gotta know what the vision is first. Exactly. Exactly. Perfect way to articulate it, Eva. I think that what probably holds a lot of women back from that point you just made, from a biblical perspective, is many of them don't want to be any kind of helper. I think everybody wants to be the main character nowadays. That's how they think about it, right? Main character. If you describe yourself as a helper, it's like, well, I'm not the main character. So I don't like this. Yes, God gave man purpose before his wife. Right. Perfect way to illustrate it. Perfect way to illustrate it. I'm drawn towards it sometimes, depending on what it is. Drawn towards what, Lolo? Have you ever been married? No. No. You know what's funny? I was going to propose to my ex right before we broke up, which was like God being like, nope, get out of there. This is not the connection. What are some of your thoughts on more intellectual women based on your dating experience? What are some thoughts? More intellectual women. I like women who are like intelligent, but aren't in your face about it. A lot of people who are intelligent try to intellectually dominate a situation. Like they need you to know they're intelligent. Being intelligent is how they get their external supply. Much like a funny person who can't stop joking. It's like, okay, man, I laughed. You want me to just laugh all night? Like, come on, chill out. Let's have a real authentic discussion. So they'll try to intellectually dominate sometimes. Be very disagreeable. We'll disagree just to disagree. To listen to respond, not to listen to like intelligent people who are also like wise or a bit more secure, they don't need you to know they're intelligent. You'll see it in the chat sometimes. There'll be sometimes I'm talking about something and people, I won't name any names, thinking of them, I won't name any names. They'll say things they think are intelligent that don't add to the discussion. It's just they wanted to throw something out there to signal that they are also intelligent. And I look at it, it annoys me, and I keep it moving. But a lot of times that would be the experience. The people I'm thinking of are not actively in the chat right now, by the way. So if you thought that was towards you, it was not, I promise you. I love trying to figure out why somebody's crazy. Gotcha. What do you think of demisexual people seeking? So I'm gonna be honest with you. Some people may disagree with me. I don't believe in a lot of demisexuality. I'll give you an example. I think it's true for women. I think the term is like a nonsense term because I think a lot of women are like by default demisexual. Here's the thing. There was a guy who I met who claimed that he'd be demisexual. And this was like a very frail guy. He was a very sickly person. Used to get surgeries a lot. Very short. He was like 5'2" or 5'3". No muscle mass. Not an attractive guy at all. He kept calling himself a demisexual. This was early in my coaching days. Before I got on social media with it, I was like coach people in real life who I met for free just to get practice. And he was like, I'm a demisexual. I was like, really? You're a demisexual? Tell me more about that. And he would tell me more about it. And I'm like, huh, you really think that's a real thing, huh? He was like, well, I know it's a real thing. I don't experience sexual attraction to someone unless I have an emotional connection with them. Okay. And I was like, well, do you watch Korn? He was like, yeah. I said, you watch Korn and you use Korn? He was like, yeah. I said, well, how does that work if you don't experience sexual attraction to someone unless you're emotionally connected to them? He got puzzled. He didn't know how to answer the question. So he sent me an article on it that explained how demisexual people can still be demisexual and still watch pornography. I didn't ask you for the article. I asked you to explain it to me. How do you understand it? How do you understand it? I didn't need the article. I don't need the article. I want you to explain it to me, right? Also, why have I never seen any attractive men who are demisexual? He like made me mad during the debate, so I had to say that to him. I was gonna hold that in my back pocket because I didn't want to offend. When you offend me, I get offensive sometimes. I don't care about hurting your feelings then. So if this was a genetic thing, then attractive men would also have this genetic disposition. Therefore, why do I not see any attractive men who are demisexual? Where's the article for that? It would seem to me that because of your sickly nature, you've chosen a worldview that helps you effectively cope with your condition. You're not attractive. You're sickly. Women don't respond to you in a sexual way. So to cope with that reality, you have taken the mantle of demisexual. Because now there's an excuse as to why you don't have a love life. It's that everybody else is just not like you. You're demisexual. You're special. So you're just waiting for that special connection. I believe it's a sexual orientation rather than a trait. It's a choice. I can get with that. That ain't how they frame it though. They ain't how they frame it. They frame it like I was born this way. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the situation. I don't know if that's the situation. So, yeah, that's my thought on demisexuality. But I do like the idea that it's a choice that people choose to be that way. Not that they can't help it. I used to like having little fun debates with them about stuff like that because I'm like, what are y'all talking about, man? It was in a group that I was in on Meetup called Creative Intellectuals. Just a bunch of like insufferable people. Fake smart people that need studies for every fucking thing. That's a person, those are the people I can't stand. The people who need studies for everything. I'm like, you can't use your own fucking observation skills. You can't extrapolate from like your own experiences. You need studies to prove it. And they'll be like referencing studies that are self-reported as if there's any any, like, that can be a trusted resource, what people tell you, as if people can't lie. So you're pointing me to a self-reported study with the assumption that the answers people gave are 100% accurate because they say they are. Oh my God, man. I was giving advice like, it was a men's group. I was giving advice like, yeah, you need to hit the gym, get in shape, because that's going to help you with like your dating life. And the guy who ran the group he had been running the group for a long time. The guy that ran the group didn't like the influence that he saw me building within the group. Because he was trying to tell these guys to, I remember the first meeting I went, creative intellectuals, it was an umbrella term for like multiple groups that had like their own like theme. So there was like a men's group version of it, right? And they threw like this dating and relationship night. Bunch of autistic guys, neurodivergent guys, and guys who, didn't do well with women at all showed up. So I said, this is going to be a good place to get clients. When I showed up, the leader of the group, the host, was trying to convince the guys to join kink communities, right? So he was like, I've joined like the BDSM communities, and guys, that's a great way to start meeting women. I was like, I wouldn't do that. I get the logic though. It's like, okay, these women are more sexually open, so therefore they'll more easily have sex with you. Right. They're also incredibly traumatized. A lot of women who are in kink communities, they're there because likely they've been SA'd in the past. And having these kinks is their way of taking their control back. A moment where they felt powerless, they are trying to take control of it so they can feel like they're taking their power back. So if you want someone who's that heavily traumatized as your partner, I mean, be my guest. It's not the best pool to fish in, right? So, plus you're not even a part of the lifestyle. You're just there to get easy pickings. I don't recommend it. Because also not as easy as you think. But this is also why if you go to any kind of kink communities, most people there are woefully unattractive. Because it is used as a strategy to get access to women. I can role play it, but I always wonder if someone really into it, what trauma they're dealing with, right? It's all like you're not coming out the womb with like wanting to get pissed on, bro. Promise you that. Or wanting to get like tied up and lifted in the air. You're not. Cammy, I already did 2 hours of Q&A. I'm just like shooting the shit with the chat right now before I get off. But yeah, that something happened to you for you to have that desire. That didn't just magically come up over you. So, yeah, so I was telling the guys, I was like, yeah, go get in the gym, work out a little bit, get your fitness right? And he was like, well, why should they go? He's fat too, by the way. This guy's fat. Well, why should we go to the gym? And I was like, well, it just increases your general attractiveness. It also makes you a bit more confident, right? Which also increases your general attractiveness. He said, so you're saying that women like it when you are in shape? I said, yeah, I think so. And he was like, well, have you dated all women? As soon as he asked that question, I'm like, here we go. I said, no, obviously I have not. The last woman I dated was your mother. I can't say that I've dated all women though. Why do you ask? And he was like, well, how can you possibly say that women prefer men who are in shape? That vein that y'all see inside of him, it started pulsating. Because I've seen studies where it says that women prefer more like men who are chubby. Really? Studies? What you point me to? Okay. well, I said, let me ask you this. You know about romance novels, right? He was like, yeah. I said, okay. Romance novels are like $1 trillion industry, right? He said, yeah. I said, and they're read by primarily women, right? He said, yeah. I said, so since romance novels, as an industry, make so much money, it will behoove them to understand their target audience and the desires of their target audience, right? He was like, right. I said, have you ever seen a fat man on the cover of a romance novel? Then he stopped responding. Why do you think this $1 trillion industry that exists to serve the fantasies of women do not put fat men on the covers of their books? Why do you think that is? I don't have a study, but we can use critical thinking here and extrapolate from this situation. Why do you think that is? Why is Seth Rogen? Why does no woman have a poster of Seth Rogen on their wall? Why do you think that is? Fake smart people are the bane of my existence, and they always will be. There's nothing I despise more than a fake intelligent person. There are no big boy strip clubs for women to go to. Right. I will never understand it. I will never understand it. That happens with my content too, right? Like, the biggest thing I've had a problem with is this whole idea of like who likes you, right? I'm like, I agree with that. Like who likes you. And I would tell men to at least talk to women or go on a date with them before you determine that that woman doesn't like you. And this has confused so many men that I talk to. They don't understand it. They're like, no, that means she doesn't, if I have to talk to her first or take her on a date first, that means she doesn't like me. I asked them, I'm like, well, how do you know when you like somebody? Like, how do you know when you like somebody? Like your friends, for example. How do you know when you like your friends? Oh, because I talk to them. I spend some time with them. Right. Stay there for a second. Just stay right there. Right? You got to experience them first, right? Do I got to keep making the point? Like, what are we doing, man? What are we doing? It's just so fucking annoying. It's just so annoying. What they're saying is, like how you look. That's what they are, the point they're making without realizing it. Like how you look. And I'm like, but a lot of y'all are chopped. Nobody's going to like how you look. If the only variable that they have to go off of is your face, wrap it up, right? You're taking away your only competitive advantage. I've told guys, I made a viral video on this like a year ago, where guys were like, oh, women should approach men. I'm not saying that they shouldn't. I'm saying you wouldn't like the world if that was the case. If all women approached men, you wouldn't like that reality. Because you're taking away your one competitive advantage, and that is that women do not approach men. So because they don't approach men, you get to exploit the fact that a lot of men are afraid to approach. And you get to reap the rewards because of it. If you create a reality, hypothetically, where women are approaching men, they're not going to approach you. They're going to approach their dream guys. So even if they do start approaching, you don't change your outcomes because you won't be approached. What are we talking about? The one thing that is working in your favor is the fact that women tend to select based off of who approaches them. They're like the delicate flower. Hold on. They're like the delicate flower who okay, cool. They're the delicate flower that gets approached, gets picked, right? And they choose based off of the men who like have showcase interest in them. That's how it's always worked. That is the most optimal strategy. You do not want to reverse that dynamic. I promise you. Shit will get real bad then. So you should appreciate the fact that they don't approach. Because that asymmetry is why you can get one. That's why you can win. That's one thing that has like messed a lot of guys up is that red pill fantasy of your woman should treat you like Chris Brown, right? Like she should treat you like you're her celebrity crush. That's a fantasy, man. That's not reality. It's a fantasy. They wouldn't even treat Chris Brown like Chris Brown once they got to know him. I remember I used to watch. Y'all remember the show For the Love of Ray J? Where Ray J had like he was like playing like Flavor Flav a little bit. The winner of that show, shorty was bad in the bitch too. I forgot her name. She was like a go-go dancer or some shit. So For the Love of Ray J, the winner of that show, when they had their reunion, she hated that man. It wasn't Danger, even though Danger was bad. Danger was bad as a bitch too. But he chose like the go-go dancer as the winner. The reunion, and she was like head over heels for him, right? Because she don't know him. She's in love with the fantasy, right? When you actually get the realistic, the real grounded experience of the person, you break the fantasy. Some women fantasize over, celebrities like Drake, Chris Brown, Michael B. Jordan, right? If they actually were able to date these men, they wouldn't respond to them in the same way that they responded to them from a distance. So it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. It's not real. Even for the men who are on the receiving ends of that fantasy projection, it's not real for them either. Who's that girl Drake be singing about? Baby M? Who like dogged him out or whatever? I'm sure before he dated Baby M, she was like, oh, Drake. I'm sure that was the dynamic. Oh my God, it's really you. I'm sure that was the dynamic. And then she started dealing with him for real. And now the fantasy is broken. I might need to make a video on that actually. Haven't seen anybody make that point. But yeah, that's how that works. So if you're expecting your woman to, or a woman that exists out there who will permanently treat you in the same way you think she would treat her celebrity crush, you're just going to be single, because that's not a real dynamic. It doesn't exist anywhere. Nobody has that life. Nobody. At best, you can experience that for a few months. It's not a permanent dynamic, though. All right. Anyway, I've been up here longer than I expected to be. If you want your 1 hour coaching call, again, this icon right here, hit that button below, shoot me a message. I'll ask you about your situation. If I can help you, I will send you a link to book your call. If you're new here, make sure to follow. I'll be live again tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to watch the replay of these lives, link in bio for the YouTube channel. It's at The Signal Dating. Appreciate the mods, appreciate the chat. I will see you all tonight.